Good day to our capstone project advisor, Professor Melchor Erice, to the panelists, Professor Rene Alipio and Professor Mary Ann Palse, and also to our chairperson, Professor Joey Arellano. I am Janica Flores, and together with my fellow groupmates, Mr. Emanuelito Castillo, Mr. Gerald Ceballos, Mr. Michael James Katipay, and Miss Maria Eileen Enciso, we will discuss to you our proposed capstone project entitled Patients Record Management System. And we would like to greet you all a pleasant day. In this presentation, I'll be your first presenter and I'll be discussing the introduction and the significance of the study. Introduction. Project context. Patients' records, also known as medical records, are files collected by the clinic nurse or clinic staff that contain primary and important information about the patients, including their health background and history of sicknesses and medications. Medical records of all the patients are confidential and should be properly secured. The manual recording of medical history and patient's information is a long process. Traditional recording of medical history includes papers, medical sheets, order sheets, and is often held in a folder. A modern way of recording medical history is highly recommended to speed up the process on recording medical records of patients in a healthcare facility or clinic. The Patient's Record Management System is a system that will help the school clinic manage students' and patients' medical record and other informations. The proposed system will assist St. Vincent de Ferrer College School Clinic in managing the health records of patients who have visited the clinic for consultations. This system will provide efficient and systematic management of all the records of the students and patients in SBFC clinic. The clinic can directly log the patient's information using the system patient's log form instead of waiting for the student to finish filling out the clinic form and encode the information using Excel on their computer. The system is also capable of providing medical certification for student for medical purposes if needed after the visit to the SBFC clinic. The system also has an inventory to track all the medicines provided to all the patients. Significance of the study. Creating this project will be beneficial for the student and the clinic staff of St. Vincent de Ferrer College because we are now facing different diseases spreading across the country. This system will be a significant contributor to maintain health standard and providing us a proper awareness about the medical backgrounds of the students in order to cure them properly without any complications. Thus, the result could be highly significant and beneficial specifically for the nurse can easily encode the medical records of their patient and can retrieve the complete medical history of the student or patient if needed. Next, the clinic will have a secure database to keep all the records of their patient and inventory of all the medicines released for all their patients. Next, the students or patients' medical records or history will be recorded in a secure database for confidentiality and can only be released with a permission of the patient or written consent. And lastly, this study will serve as an ideal instrument for the future researchers as a basis for their capstone project. That's all, and the next reporter will be Miss Maria Eileen Enciso.
Good day everyone, my name is Maria Eileen Enciso and I'll be discussing the objective of the study and methodology of our capstone project. So objective of the study. Patient's record in school clinic needs to be managed effectively and securely. These records are confidential and can be used for reference in the future. By developing a computerized patient's record, we will be able to manage the patient's student's record efficiently. The proposed system aims to provide the following. Number one is provides a computerized patient management record for the SBFC's clinic. Number two is basic functions like creating patient's record, adding diagnosis or checking patient's record can be performed. Number three is to record a student, patient's medical information and history, wherein past records of the student, patients cannot be altered. Number 4 is to provide a secure database for all the medical history of the students, patients who sought treatment in the clinic. Number 5 is the system can provide medical certificate for students who sought treatment in the clinic for medical purposes if needed by the student. Number 6 is to provide inventory of all the medicine provided to all patients. So the next one is methodology. This chapter presents the descriptive developmental research methodology used for the study that guided and helped in gathering the needed data. Consequently, with this type of research, findings can help the developer define the requirements of the patient record management system at St. Vincent de Ferrer College. So the requirements serve as input in the development of the software. So that's all, and Mr. Katipay will discuss the sample output of our system.
A good day everyone, my name is Michael James Katipay and I'm here to show our sample output in our system entitled Patient Record Management System. So these are sample output in user login. So these are user login form and there's a username and text box where you can type your username, then a password and text box where you can type your password, and there's a checkbox to remember your password and login button to log in your account. So the next one is the sample output for dashboard. So in my left side, there's an image and name for the user, then login as where you can change your account. Then there's a 4 button. These are dashboard, patients, user logs, and accounts. So in dashboard, there's a current patients and discharged patients. So in the current patients, you can see the list record list of the current patients, and in discharged patients, you can see the list of record of discharged patients. So the next one is the data table. So in the data table, there's a top down. Uh, you can filter the list of the record, then update button, then there's a search bar where you can search uh, the list of the record of patients, and a new record button where you can uh, add a new record for the patients, and add patients to add a new patients, and refresh button to refresh the list of the records. And there's a table list of the record. Then the next one is the sample output for user logs forms. So in the user logs forms, there's a table for name of the user, user ID for the user, and password of the user. So the next one is the account form. So in the account form, there's a top down, and then update button, then search bar to search the following list of account, and add account button to add a new account, then refresh button to refresh the list of accounts, and there's a logout button to log out the system. So the next one is Gerard Ceballos to discuss the ERD.
Good morning, panelists. I'm here to present the entity and the attributes of our patient record management system. The system is composed of three main entities: user, patient, and medication. The user entity has the following attributes: user ID, name, position, username, password, and image. User ID is a unique identifier for the user. Name, position, and username provide identification detail. Password is for authentication, and image is used for display the user profile. The patient entity has the following attribute: patient ID, patient name, birth date, age, year level, etc. As you can see as the picture. Patient ID is a unique identifier for the patient. Patient name, birthday, age as identification details. Chip compliance, allergies, vital sign, blood pressure, heart rate, respiratory rate, temperature rate, pain scale, last day in campus, and contact tracing. Provide an important medical information. Advisor, objective, assessment, and plans and recommendation. Provide information about the patient, diagnosis, and treatment plan. The medication entity has the following attributes: medicine ID, name, brand, expiration date, and quantity. Medication ID is a unique identifier for the medication. Name and brand provide identification details for the medication expiration date. Provide information on when the medication should be discarded, and quantity provided information on how much medication is available. The user and patient have one-to-many relationship in the ERD. As you can see, in this case, it will mean that single user is responsible for managing or taking care of multiple patients. This indicates that a user can manage multiple patients, and the patient can take multiple medication, and the medication can taken by multiple patients.
Hello, good morning. My name is Emmanuel Tito Castillo, and I'm here to discuss the functionality of the system. Functionality of the system, it includes Module 1, login functions, Module 2, dashboard, Module 3, records, Module 4, user, and Module 5, tables, list of patients, inventory of available medicines. Module 1, login functions. This function will allow user to gain access to the system. To access, you need to have a user ID and password. This function will also prevent anyone from accessing the system without authorization. For the user ID, it can be a name or email address or alphanumeric characters. And then for the password, it contains letter and numbers, which includes symbols, and you should have at least 8 or more characters to make a strong password. Next is Module 2, Dashboard. Now, in, with this function, it is a tool that provides information about the current status or number of the patients in the clinic. As you can see on the screen, it contains the current number of the patients, including the discharge. Module 3, Records. This function will allow user to check all the records of all patients, whether it is an old one or a new patient. The record function will provide the user about the complete information of a patient, which also includes old medical records. These old medical records can also be used for future reference for during consultation. Module 4, User. This function will allow the administrator to add another user just to get a user ID and password. Now, this will also allow the administrator to delete any logins just in case that the user is no longer associated with the school or clinic. Module 5, Tables, List of Patient, Inventory of Available Medicines. This function will allow the user to check the list of patients in the clinic, and this information also includes the name of the patient and the status, including the diagnosis, and the medicine that they provided during the treatment. Now, this table will also include information about the available medicines that we have in the clinic. Next is training plan of the system. Now, this in this page you will see the the current status or the representation, the visual um, picture of the schedule that we have when creating the project. This will also shows the timeline and the deadline of each task that we have to complete the project. Now from the planning phase, we started on January 7th, and then for the requirement analysis, we started on the 9th of January, and then for the design phase, we started on January 12th. For the development phase, we started on the 13th of January. For integrated and test phase, we started on the 16th of January, and then for implementation phase and maintenance phase, we started on the 19th of January. And that's it. Thank you again.